Hi everyone, welcome to Simplilearn. Today, we will learn view types in SQL. Here, we will learn what exactly are views in SQL and the different types of views available in SQL. So views basically help in many ways you can imagine to keep your database secure and improve performance. To understand this better, let's go through a small story or a use case imagining you run database for a company securing the customer's data. So here's the context. Imagine you work with a company that manages a SQL database with sensitive customer data and you prioritize data security, performance, and ease of maintenance. As a SQL expert, you know direct access to the main tables often lead to accidental data exposure. The solution is using views. By implementing views, you can restrict access to only specific data fields. This enhances security by hiding sensitive columns from unauthorized users. The views allow analysts to retrieve critical data without accessing the main tables directly. This improves database performance by reducing query load on the core tables. When the changes are needed, administrators update the view definitions instead of rewriting the complex queries. This simplifies maintenance and security for data access without affecting overall performance. Now, your main table that has sensitive information about your customers is secured, achieving performance, and the periodic maintenance has been reduced. That said, if these are the type of videos you'd like to watch, then hit that like and subscribe buttons and the bell icon to get notified. Without further delay, let's get started with the agenda for today's session. So in this session for today, we will get started with what exactly is a view in SQL. Then we will understand some of the features of views in SQL. Followed by that, we will deep dive into the different types of views available in SQL. So those are simple, complex, force, read-only, checkpoint, and etc. So we will also learn a little more in detail about all these types of views in SQL, and we will also go through a demonstration on each and every type that we have discussed. And lastly, we will go through some of the critical benefits that you will be receiving by using views in SQL. So I hope I made myself clear with the agenda. Now let's proceed with the first agenda point of today's session, that is about what exactly are views in SQL. What is a view in SQL? So in SQL, created by a query that selects data from one or more tables. It doesn't store data by itself, but displays data dynamically based on the underlying tables. So the following are the features of using views in SQL. So the first one, consistency. Views ensure data consistency by providing a stable, predefined interface to the underlying data, regardless of changes to the base tables. Second one is security. Views can restrict access to sensitive data by exposing only specific columns or rows, which safeguards the underlying tables. Performance being the third one. While views themselves don't always improve performance, indexed views or materialized views can optimize complex queries by storing results. And lastly, the customization. Views allow customization of data presentation, enabling users to interact with tailored, simplified views of complex datasets tables. Now that we know what is a view in SQL and some of the important features of views, let's proceed with the next part of today's session, which is about dealing with the different types of views available in SQL. So, as discussed, there are 5 different types of views in SQL, or 5 important types of views in SQL. There might be more. So, the views that we will be discussing today are a simple view, a complex view, a force view, a read-only view, and a check view or checkpoint view, right? Let's discuss each one of these in detail. So, the first one, simple view. So, a simple view is based on a single table. It does not include functions, grouping, or joins. Let's say you're writing a query which includes order by, group by, right? Or you will be joining 2 or more data tables, right? Apart from these scenarios, if you just write a simple view using one single data table, let's say your data table has 10 columns and you only need 3 columns, customer ID, order ID, date, right? You can create a simple view using one single table without having to join with another table or without having to group by the data, without having to order by the data, just a simple view. In that scenario, you will be using a simple view, right? Now proceeding with the second type of view, which is a complex view. You can kind of imagine this as an opposite to the simple view. So here in this case, you will be using joins and you will be using some order by, group by functions and another aggregate function, right? That particular view is called as a complex view, an opposite to the simple view. Now the third type of view in our table for today, which is force view. So a force view can be created if the underlying tables or columns do not exist, useful in temporary situations. So the force view speaks for itself, right? Now the fourth type of view in our list for today, which is read-only view. Let's say you're the team manager and you have some subordinates in your team and they need to look at the data, right? And you don't want to give them access to even the views that you have created. So in this scenario, you can just give them a read-only access to the view so that when you write a query, the data just displays and you cannot manipulate anything to the view. Now proceeding ahead to the last type of view for today's session, which is a check view. Let's say you have an entire year's sales dataset line as a view, and now you want to just look at the last month's sales reports. In that scenario, you can give a condition, a checkpoint option, right? Give me the sales report from certain date to a different date, let's say 1 month date, and I just want to view that data, and I don't want to view the entire data table of 1 year. In such scenarios, you can use a checkpoint view, right? So these are the different types of views that we will be dealing with today. Now let's also go through the benefits of using views in SQL. So the first benefit, data security. Views allow restricted access, helping protect sensitive information while still enabling necessary data access. Now, the second, simplification. Views can encapsulate complex joins and conditions, letting users query a simplified interface without needing to write complex SQL queries every single time. Now, the third, consistency. Since views provide a single source of truth for frequently used datasets, they help maintain data consistency across different parts of an application. Now, the fourth one is no redundancy. By creating a view instead of copying data, users avoid data duplication and keep the database more efficient. Now, the next one is performance. Views that materialize data can speed up query performance, especially when these same complex queries are run repeatedly. Now, followed by that, we have abstraction. So, views can hide underlying table structures from end users, making database schema changes easier without affecting the user access. Followed by that, we have aggregations. Views are ideal for summarizing and aggregation of data like totals and averages to support reporting needs. Now, followed by that, we have customization. They enable tailored data formats or calculations, presenting data in a way suited for the user's needs. And next, we have maintenance. Any changes made to the view reflect instantly across all dependent queries, making maintenance simpler. Now, lastly, the business logic. Views can encapsulate business logic, ensuring that all applications access and use data in a uniform way. Now, these were the few theoretical topics for today's session, where we understood what exactly is a view. Followed by that, we understood the different types of views and some of the major benefits of using views in SQL. Now, let's switch to the practical mode where we will demonstrate each and every single view that we have discussed, which is the simple view, complex view, and the three other views, right? So now let's quickly switch to the demonstration part of this session. So now we are on the MySQL workbench. So we will be using the Superstore dataset or data table for this one. So there you go. And our dataset for today is, that's the one. So Excel data will be our data table, which has the sales report. There you go. So we have row ID, order date, etc. These are all the columns which are present in our dataset. So the 5 types of views that we will be discussing today are simple view, complex view, force view, read-only view, and checkpoint view, right? So here on the left side of the window, you can see the data table, right? And we also have another row here which shows the views. Currently, so far, we don't have any views. So we have a table. So these are the tables and columns, etc. But we don't have anything on the views front. So we will be creating all the views as the new ones, right? Now let's proceed with the first one, which happens to be the simple view. So as we discussed, a simple view uses only one single table and it will not have any aggregation, any calculation, any of the group by or order by queries, right? It will be a simple view which will just access a couple of columns in your dataset. Now let's try to write that simple view. So we will be creating a view using the create keyword and view keyword followed by that the name of the view. So it is a simple view. So we will write it as simple view. It is a sample one, right? So we'll create a sample one as. So now we will be selecting the columns. So in this particular view, I want the order ID, comma. We will also need the order date. And let's also take customer name, product name, and sales profit. From the table is Excel data, tab to select, there you go, and semicolon. And to make things better, what you can do is replace the caps from your view name because it helps in understanding. So whichever the part of your code is in lowercase, that means it is some name or some entity or column ID, and whichever is in caps, that is a keyword, right? So far so good. Now let's quickly run this, and the view has been successfully created, and here you can see your simple view. Let's say you want to access the view in this scenario. What you can do is you can just simply write down or use the same query and paste it here, and instead of Excel data, what you can write is simple view. Here, just run it and you will be having it. So the view already exists. There you go. Now let's proceed with the complex view, which happens to be the exact opposite of simple view. So here we can proceed with some aggregation functions, group by, order by, and having, right? Now let's try to filter out some customers. So here you have profits and sales, right? So if you slide it here, you can see the sales numbers. So here we have $79, $388, $50, right? So there are multiple customers. So I want to write a query, or I want to identify some premium customers which have bought us a sale which is more than $10,000. So let's write a query for that. Create view, and you can name it as complex as, and now select the columns that you need. So I'm taking customer name. So I'll be taking total sales here. So I'll be using the sum aggregate function sales, and let's type the column as total sales. There you go. And next we will proceed by taking the profit as well. So I'll use another aggregate sum function here, profit, and we will name it as total profit. And this will be from Excel data, which is our table name. And now we will also add a group by function, customer name, and we will have a condition here having sum of sales, tab to select, greater than $10,000 and a semicolon. There you go. Now let's try to run this. So now when you call the select from complex view, here you find all the customers who gave you total sales more than $10,000 and also their profits. Now let's proceed with the next type of view, which happens to be the force view. You can initiate a force view by using the following commands. You need to create or replace view as force view. I'll keep it as force as, it's turning into a keyword, so let's keep it as force view as, select the columns you need. So I'll proceed with customer name, comma, city, comma, state, comma, sales. From our table, which is Excel data, press tab to select, and you can write a semicolon. Let's try to remove this. Now let's run this query. There you go, we have successfully run the query. Now let's select what's available in force view and run it, and you have all the required views here. Now we will proceed with the next type of view, which is happen to be the read-only view, and this particular table will only have read-only access, so you'll not be able to edit anything here. So let's try to write it as create view. So create view is the keyword here, whichever type of keyword you want to add or create, whichever view you want to create here. So create view is the keyword that you want to focus on. Now read only is not a keyword. So as now the select statement that you want. So I would like to go with, okay, let's keep it in caps. I want to select order ID, and I want to take order date, customer name as well, and the product he purchased, and the amount of sale he bought, and the profit the customer gave to the company or the sales store. From my table, which happens to be the Excel data, tap to select the data table, and now another keyword with check option, semicolon. Now let's quickly run this query. There you go. So view has been successfully created. Copy the name of the view, erase everything, and let's try to write a select statement here to see what exactly is present in this particular view. Run, and there you go. Now let's proceed with the last type of view here, which happens to be the checkpoint view. So remember the use case that we discussed before, where we wanted to extract a particular data part of the data table, like 30 days of sales data, something like that. Now let's try to create that view. So use the keywords create view. So that was a keyword. So let's try to use a different one, checkpoint. So I'll go with checkpoint as. Now let's try to write the select, or let's try to select the columns we want in our checkpoint view. So I want to go with the order ID, customer name. I think we missed the underscore. And I want to know which product he bought, product name, and sales, profit that he bought to the company. And that would be all from my table, which is Excel data. Press tab to select, and there you go. Now let's quickly run this query. There you go. Now copy this table name and remove all this. Instead of all these columns, let's type in star from the view checkpoint, semicolon. Let's run this query to see the data entries. There you go. So these were the simple use cases that we discussed about using the different types of views in our SQL. So we discussed about simple views, complex views, and checkpoint views, and also read-only views. Apart from that, there is another view which happens to be the force view, right? So we discussed what exactly a view is in SQL, different types of views in SQL, and the benefits of using views in SQL. And that calls for an end of the session on views or different types of views in SQL. And if you have any queries regarding any of the topics covered in this session, or if you require the resources like the PPT, code documentation, and dataset, then please feel free to let us know in the comment section below, and our team of experts will be happy to assist you with all the resources that you are looking for. Until next time, thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more from Simplilearn.
Hi there, if you like this video, subscribe to the Simplilearn YouTube channel and click here to watch similar videos. To nerd up and get certified, click here.